Welcome to Bedtime Daydreams. Tonight, we're going to experience something truly magical. What it would be like to find yourself in the perfect cozy cabin, tucked away in the mountains, just as a beautiful snowstorm rolls in. You know that feeling when you're warm and safe inside, while the world outside transforms into a winter wonderland? That deep sense of peace and comfort when you've got nowhere to be and nothing to do except relax. That's where we're going tonight. We'll spend the next 2 hours in this perfect little cabin, watching the snow fall, feeling the warmth of the fire, and just being completely at ease. Before we begin, if you enjoy this kind of content, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us create more of these cozy stories for you. And leave a comment telling us where you're from, what time it is where you are right now, and what your perfect cozy cabin would have in it. A fireplace, big windows, maybe a reading nook. We'd love to hear about it. All right, let's begin. Close your eyes if you'd like, get comfortable, and let's drift into this beautiful winter retreat together. You're driving through the mountains on a Friday afternoon in late January, the kind of Friday where you left work early because you've got the whole weekend ahead of you and absolutely nothing planned. Your phone is in the cup holder, your favorite playlist is on low, and you're just driving, no destination in mind. Just driving through these beautiful mountain roads, watching the pine trees pass by. The sky has been getting darker for the past hour. Not evening dark, but that heavy gray that means snow is coming. You can feel it in the air. There's this thickness to the atmosphere, this anticipation, and you're not worried about it at all. Actually, you're kind of excited. When was the last time you were in a real snowstorm? Not just flurries, but a proper winter storm where the world goes quiet and white. You round a curve and see a sign, hand-painted, wooden, almost hidden by the trees. It says Mountain View Cabins with an arrow pointing down a smaller road. You didn't even know this road was here. You've driven this route before, but somehow you never noticed this turnoff, and something about it just calls to you. So you slow down, flip your turn signal even though there's nobody behind you, and turn onto this narrow gravel road. The road winds through dense forest, tall pines on both sides, their branches already dusted with white. The first flakes are starting to fall now. Big, lazy flakes that drift down slowly, almost floating. You can see them caught in the light filtering through the trees. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And you find yourself driving slower, not because the road is difficult, but because you don't want to miss a single moment of this. After maybe 10 minutes, you see a small clearing ahead. And there, sitting perfectly between the trees, is a cabin. Not a big resort lodge or anything fancy like that. Just a single beautiful log cabin with smoke curling up from the chimney. The windows are glowing with warm yellow light. There's a small porch with 2 rocking chairs. And in front, there's a little wooden sign that says office. You park your car and step out. The air is so crisp it almost stings your lungs in the best way. You can smell wood smoke and pine and that clean, cold scent that only comes with snow. The flakes are falling steadier now, landing on your shoulders, your hair. You stand there for just a moment, tilting your head back to watch them fall from the gray sky. It's so quiet. Just the soft whisper of falling snow and the distant sound of wind through the trees. The office door has a little bell that jingles when you push it open. Inside, it's wonderfully warm. There's a small desk, some brochures about hiking trails and local restaurants, and behind the desk sits an older woman with kind eyes and a thick wool sweater. She looks up from her book and smiles at you. Not a customer service smile, but a real one, like she's genuinely happy to see you. "Welcome," she says. Her voice is warm, comfortable. "Looking for a cabin?" You weren't, not really. But now that you're here, you realize you absolutely are. "Do you have anything available?" you ask. "Just for tonight, maybe tomorrow night." She pulls out a large, hand-drawn map of the property. "I've got one cabin left," she says, pointing to a spot that's set back from the others, deeper in the trees. "It's called Whispering Pines. It's our most secluded one. About a 5-minute walk from here, follows a little trail. No neighbors on either side, just forest. It's got a full kitchen, a fireplace, everything you need. And between you and me," she leans in like she's sharing a secret, "the storm they're predicting tonight is going to be a big one. You'll be perfectly safe and warm up there, but you'll get the full show." Perfect. That's absolutely perfect. You handle the paperwork, which is refreshingly simple. She gives you an actual key, not a key card, a real brass key on a wooden keychain shaped like a pine tree. She also gives you a hand-drawn map showing the trail to your cabin and a list of emergency numbers, though she assures you that you won't need them. "There's firewood stacked on the porch," she tells you, "and more in a shed around back if you need it. The fireplace is ready to go. Just light it. Kitchen's stocked with basics, coffee, tea, hot chocolate. There's a landline phone if you need anything. The number for the office is right there on the phone. Cell service is spotty up here, but the landline always works." She hands you a flashlight, just in case, though the cabin has plenty of lights. You thank her and head back out to your car. The snow is falling harder now. Not a blizzard yet, but steady, determined. You grab your overnight bag from the trunk. You didn't pack for a cabin stay, but you've got the basics. Change of clothes, toiletries, your book that you've been trying to read for months. Good enough. The trail to your cabin is exactly what she described. A well-maintained dirt path, wide enough to be comfortable, winding through the trees. The snow is starting to accumulate on the ground now, creating this thin, white blanket over everything. Your footsteps make soft crunching sounds, the only sounds. Everything else is muffled, peaceful. You can see your breath in the cold air. The trees here are massive, old-growth pines that tower over you, their branches creating a natural canopy. Even with the snow falling, you feel sheltered here, protected, like the forest itself is watching over you. There's something almost magical about it, the way the light filters through the branches, the absolute stillness of everything. And then you see it, your cabin, Whispering Pines. It's perfect, better than perfect. It's exactly what a cabin should be. Real logs, weathered and beautiful, with white chinking between them. A steep roof to handle heavy snow. Large windows across the front. A covered porch with a stack of firewood, neatly arranged. 2 wooden chairs. A small table between them. And smoke? There's already smoke coming from the chimney, which means the fireplace is ready to go. You climb the 3 steps to the porch, and the wood creaks under your feet in that satisfying way old wood does. The key slides into the lock smoothly, and the door swings open. And oh, this is even better than you imagined. The cabin is one large open space. To your right, there's a small kitchen area with wooden counters, a gas stove, a sink, with a window above it looking out into the forest. Straight ahead, there's a fireplace. A real stone fireplace that takes up most of the far wall. Someone, probably the woman from the office, has laid the fire for you. Wood stacked perfectly, kindling tucked underneath. Matches sitting on the mantel in a little wooden box. To the left of the fireplace, there's a comfortable-looking couch, deep cushions, soft throws draped over the back, a coffee table made from a thick slab of wood, a reading lamp, bookshelves lined with well-worn paperbacks and board games. And in the back corner, separated by a half wall, you can see the bedroom area. A big bed with what looks like the fluffiest comforter you've ever seen. More windows. So many windows. But it's the windows that really get you. Floor-to-ceiling windows across the entire front of the cabin, looking out at the forest and the falling snow. You can stand here and see everything. The pine trees, the snow accumulating on their branches, the gray sky. It's like being outside but perfectly warm and protected. Like having a front row seat to nature's best show. You drop your bag by the door and just stand there for a moment, taking it all in. The cabin smells like wood and a hint of coffee and pine. It's not too warm yet, since the fire isn't going, but it's not cold either. Just cool enough to make you want to light that fire and get cozy. First things first. You walk over to the fireplace and pick up the matches from the mantel. The box is old, the kind with a striker on the side. You strike a match and it flares to life with a soft hiss. You touch it to the kindling, and within seconds, the fire starts to catch. Little flames licking up through the wood, crackling, popping, growing. You watch it for a minute, making sure it's going to take, and then you add a couple of larger logs from the stack beside the fireplace. The fire accepts them eagerly, flames wrapping around the new wood. The crackling gets louder, more confident, and you can already feel the heat starting to radiate outward. It's the best kind of heat. Not forced air from a vent, but real, natural warmth from real wood. With the fire going, you turn your attention to exploring the rest of the cabin. The kitchen is simple, but has everything you need. There's a French press on the counter next to a bag of coffee grounds, a kettle on the stove. In the cabinets, you find mugs, plates, glasses. The fridge is empty except for a few bottles of water and some emergency candles, which is fine because you didn't bring groceries anyway. But there's a basket on the counter with snacks, crackers, cheese, some chocolate, a couple of apples. A handwritten note says, "Welcome, help yourself, these are on us." In the bathroom, which is small but charming, with white subway tiles and a clawfoot tub, you find thick towels and little bottles of shampoo and soap. Everything smells like lavender and cedar. There's even a basket with bubble bath and a box of matches next to some candles. This place thought of everything. You head back to the main room and walk over to those big windows. The snow is really coming down now. You can barely see the trees that you know are just 20 feet away. Everything is white and swirling. The flakes are smaller now, more frantic, driven by wind that's picked up. You can hear it whistling around the corners of the cabin. Not scary, just present. A reminder that there's a storm out there and you're safe in here. The fire is burning strong now, filling the cabin with warmth and that wonderful wood smoke smell. You decide it's time to really settle in. You kick off your shoes and leave them by the door. Your jacket goes on a hook. You're wearing a sweater and jeans, which is perfect for this temperature. Not too hot, not too cold. You make your way to the kitchen and decide a warm drink is in order. Hot chocolate sounds perfect. You find the cocoa in the same cabinet with the coffee, along with a container of mini marshmallows. You heat water in the kettle, listening to it slowly start to bubble and hiss. While you wait, you explore the bookshelf. There are novels, mostly mysteries and nature writing, some poetry, a few guides about the local area. You pull out a book of Mary Oliver poems. Perfect. The kettle whistles and you pour the hot water over cocoa powder in one of the big ceramic mugs. 3 heaping spoonfuls, because why not? You stir it until it's smooth and dark, then add a handful of mini marshmallows. They float on top, slowly melting at the edges. You pick up the mug, feeling the warmth against your palms, and carry it over to the couch, along with the book of poems. The couch is even more comfortable than it looked. Deep cushions that you sink into just enough. You curl up in one corner, pulling one of the soft throws over your lap. The throw is thick and knitted, probably handmade, in shades of cream and gray. You tuck your feet up under you and take your first sip of hot chocolate. It's rich and sweet and exactly what you needed. From here, you can see everything. The fire crackling and dancing in the fireplace. The windows showing the storm outside, which is definitely a full blizzard now. The wind is howling, snow is driving sideways, and the sky has gone from gray to almost white. But in here, you're perfectly safe, perfectly warm. The contrast is incredible. You open the book of poems and start reading. Mary Oliver writes about nature and presence and paying attention. It feels right for this moment. You read slowly, taking time with each line, letting the words sink in. Every now and then, you look up from the page to watch the snow or the fire. There's no rush, nowhere to be. Nothing to do except be here, right now, in this moment. The cabin creaks occasionally, old wood settling, responding to the temperature changes. It's a comforting sound, like the cabin is breathing, living. You can hear the wind outside, sometimes gusting hard enough that you can feel a tiny draft, just a whisper of cold air. But it only makes the warmth of the fire feel better, like the cabin is hugging you, keeping you safe from the elements. You finish your hot chocolate and set the empty mug on the coffee table. The marshmallows left a sweet residue on your upper lip, and you lick it off, smiling. This might be the most relaxed you've felt in months, maybe years. There's something about being cut off from everything, snowed in by choice, that makes your whole body relax. Your shoulders drop, your jaw unclenches, your breathing gets slower and deeper. The fire needs another log, so you get up and add one. It's getting darker outside now, still afternoon, but the storm makes it feel like evening. The light is dim and soft and gray. You turn on the reading lamp next to the couch, creating a little pool of warm golden light. It makes the space even cozier, if that's possible. Back on the couch, you pick up the book again, but your mind keeps wandering to the windows, to the storm, to how absolutely perfect this all is. You think about how earlier today you were at work, dealing with emails and meetings and the usual stress. And now you're here, in a cabin in the woods, watching a snowstorm like it's the most natural thing in the world, like this is where you were always meant to end up today. The wind picks up again, rattling the windows just slightly. Not enough to worry about, just enough to notice. You can see the trees outside bending and swaying. Snow is piling up on the porch railing, on the firewood stack, on everything. It's probably already 6 inches deep and still coming. The forecast said this storm could drop 2 feet. 2 feet of snow. And you're here for it, all of it. You let the book rest open on your lap and just watch for a while. Watch the snow fall. Watch the fire burn. Listen to the wind and the crackle of the logs. There's something almost meditative about it. Like the cabin and the storm have created this perfect bubble where time moves differently, slower, softer, where minutes feel like hours in the best way, because every minute is full and rich and exactly what it should be. A log shifts in the fire, sending up a spray of sparks. They glow orange and red for a brief moment before fading to ash. The fire is burning down a bit, settling into steady flames instead of the enthusiastic blaze it started with. That's fine. It'll keep going for hours like this, just needing an occasional new log to keep it company. You realize you're hungry. It's been hours since lunch, and your body is reminding you of that fact. You pad over to the kitchen in your socks and investigate the welcome basket more thoroughly. There's a really nice block of cheddar cheese, some crackers, grapes, the chocolate you noticed, before and at the bottom, a bag of popcorn kernels and instructions for making them on the stovetop. Stovetop popcorn sounds perfect. You find a pot with a lid and pour in some oil, let it heat up. When it's hot enough, you add the kernels and put the lid on. Within seconds, you hear the first pop, then another. Then they're going crazy, popping and bouncing against the lid like tiny fireworks. The smell is incredible, buttery and toasted and happy. When the popping slows down, you take the pot off the heat and pour the popcorn into a big bowl. It's perfectly popped, fluffy and white and hot. You add a little salt and bring the bowl back to the couch, settling back into your corner with the throw over your lap. The popcorn is still warm, and you eat it slowly, one kernel at a time, alternating between watching the fire and watching the storm. Outside, the world is completely white now. You can barely see 10 feet past the windows, just snow and wind and the dark shapes of the nearest trees. It's wild out there, absolutely wild. And somehow that makes being in here feel even better, like you've discovered the secret to perfect contentment, warmth and safety and peace, while the world does its winter thing just beyond the glass. Your phone buzzes in your pocket and you pull it out. 1 bar of service. A text from a friend asking what you're up to this weekend. You look around the cabin, at the fire, at the storm, at the bowl of popcorn in your lap. You type back, snowed in at a cabin in the mountains. It's perfect. You hit send and then, on impulse, you turn off your phone. Not because you're upset or trying to prove a point, just because you don't need it right now. You're here, fully here, and that feels important. The afternoon is giving way to evening now. The light outside, what little there is of it, is getting softer. The storm shows no signs of letting up. If anything, it's getting stronger. The wind is constant now, a low howl that rises and falls. You can hear snow hitting the windows in little waves. The cabin is dark except for the firelight and your one lamp. It feels like a cave, the best cave. A perfectly appointed, wonderfully warm cave. You add another log to the fire and then explore the cabin a bit more. In a closet, you find extra blankets, board games, and a deck of cards. On a shelf in the bedroom area, there's a battery-powered radio and a stack of old magazines. Everything you might need to entertain yourself without electricity or internet. Though honestly, you're not sure you need entertainment. Just sitting here, watching the storm, feels like enough. You test out the bed, sitting on the edge. It's firm but comfortable. The comforter is as fluffy as it looked, and when you run your hand over it, it's soft and slightly cool to the touch. There are 4 pillows, all different sizes, all inviting. Windows on 2 walls of the bedroom area look out at the forest, at the storm. You could lie here tonight and watch the snow fall. What a thought. What an absolutely perfect thought. But it's not bedtime yet. Not even close. You head back to the main room and decide to explore the bookshelf more thoroughly. You find a journal, empty except for entries from previous guests. Some people wrote about hiking trips, others about anniversaries spent here. One person wrote an entire poem about a deer they saw from the window. You read through several entries, feeling connected to these strangers who also found peace in this place. On impulse, you grab a pen from the kitchen and write your own entry. January, snowstorm, pure magic. You date it and close the journal, setting it back on the shelf. Maybe someday someone else will read that and wonder about your night here. Evening has definitely arrived now. The sky outside has gone from gray to a deep charcoal color, and with the storm still raging, you can't see any stars or moon, just darkness and snow. But inside the cabin, everything glows with warmth. The fire, the lamp, even the snowy windows seem to hold their own light somehow, reflecting the orange of the flames. You're starting to think about dinner. The cheese and crackers from the welcome basket are calling to you, but you also remember seeing some cans in the cabinet. You investigate and find tomato soup, crackers, even a can of chili. Simple food, but that's exactly what sounds good right now. Something warm and uncomplicated. You decide on the tomato soup. You open the can and pour it into a pot on the stove, adding a little water, like the instructions say. While it heats, you slice some of the cheddar cheese and arrange it on crackers on a plate. When the soup starts to bubble, you pour it into a big mug, the one you used for hot chocolate earlier. Soup in a mug just feels right for a night like this. Cozy, informal, perfect. You carry your dinner back to the couch and settle in with the soup in your hands. It's hot, almost too hot to sip, so you blow on it gently and watch the steam rise. The first taste is exactly what you wanted. Warm and tomatoey and comforting. You eat slowly, alternating between sips of soup and bites of cheese and crackers, occasionally glancing up at the windows to watch the storm. The wind is really howling now. You can hear it finding gaps and corners around the cabin, whistling and moaning. It's not a scary sound, though. More like the cabin and the storm are having a conversation. The storm asking if it can come in, the cabin firmly saying no. You stay out there. And you're grateful for these solid walls, this warm fire, this safe space. When you finish eating, you wash your dishes in the sink, looking out the window above it as you do. The porch light is on, casting a small circle of illumination, and you can see the snow swirling through it. It's mesmerizing, like watching a snow globe, except you're inside the globe, protected, cocooned. You dry your hands on a dish towel and realize you're feeling that pleasant kind of tired. Not exhausted, but relaxed. The kind of tired that comes from being warm and well-fed and completely stress-free. Your body is telling you it's okay to slow down even more, to really let go of everything that you left behind when you turned onto that gravel road this afternoon. Back in the couch, you pick up the book of poems again, but this time, you don't read. You just hold it, using it almost like a meditation object while you watch the fire. The flames have settled into a steady rhythm. They're not as high as they were earlier, but they're consistent, reliable, dancing and flickering in shades of orange and yellow and that deep red that only comes from well-seasoned wood burning hot. The cabin makes another one of its settling sounds, a creak from somewhere in the ceiling, and you realize you love these sounds. They make the place feel alive, like the cabin is a living thing, breathing with you, keeping you company. You're alone here, miles from anyone, snowed in by a blizzard, and you don't feel lonely at all. You feel held, cared for, exactly where you're supposed to be. You think about adding another log to the fire, but it doesn't need it yet. Instead, you just adjust your position on the couch, pulling the throw up higher, tucking it around your shoulders. The fabric is soft against your neck. You can smell the wood smoke from the fire, mixed with the faint scent of the soap from when you washed your hands. Clean smells, good smells. Outside, a particularly strong gust of wind hits the cabin, and you hear it, really hear it, surrounding you. But the cabin doesn't budge. These old logs have seen 100 storms like this, maybe 1,000. They know what they're doing. They know how to stand firm, how to keep the weather outside and the warmth inside. You trust them completely. Your eyes feel heavy, and you let them close for a minute, just resting them. You can still hear everything: the wind, the fire, the occasional snap of a log, your own breathing, slow and deep. And you realize this is what peace feels like. Real peace. Not the absence of sound or activity, but the presence of exactly the right amount of both. Enough going on to be interesting, not so much that it's overwhelming. You open your eyes and look at the clock on the wall. It's only 7 in the evening, hours until bedtime. But there's no pressure to fill those hours with anything. You could read, you could play a board game by yourself. You could just sit here and watch the fire. All of those options sound equally good, equally appealing. That's how you know you're truly relaxed, when doing nothing sounds just as good as doing something. You decide to explore the board games. There's Scrabble, which would be weird to play alone. Checkers, same problem. But there's also a jigsaw puzzle still in its box. 1,000 pieces, the box says. The image shows a mountain landscape at sunset. That could be fun. Meditative. You bring it to the coffee table and open it, dumping all the pieces out. The pieces scatter across the wooden surface, a jumble of colors and shapes. You start by flipping them all face up, which takes several minutes. There's something satisfying about this task. It's mindless but purposeful. Your hands know what to do while your mind wanders. You think about the storm outside, about how much snow has probably fallen already, about whether you'll even be able to leave tomorrow or if you'll be snowed in for another night. The thought of being stuck here doesn't bother you at all. In fact, it's almost appealing. Another whole day of this, of quiet and warmth and peace, of watching snow fall and tending the fire and reading by lamplight. When's the last time you had a day like that? No obligations, no plans, just being. With all the pieces face up, you start sorting edge pieces from middle pieces. This is the methodical part, the foundation. You find corners first, 4 corners, 4 directions, the framework of what you're building. Then you start connecting edges, building the border of the puzzle. The fire crackles beside you. The wind howls outside. And you're here, fitting together little cardboard pieces, completely absorbed. You work on the puzzle for maybe half an hour, getting the entire border complete and starting to organize the middle pieces by color. Sky pieces over here, mountain pieces there, forest pieces in another pile. It's coming together slowly, which is exactly how it should be. You're not rushing. There's nowhere to be, nothing to hurry toward. The fire is getting low, so you pause the puzzle to add more wood. You pick 2 good-sized logs from the stack and place them carefully on the existing coals. They catch almost immediately, flames wrapping around them hungrily. Within minutes, the fire is blazing again, filling the room with fresh warmth and light. You stand there for a moment, hands stretched toward the heat, feeling it on your palms and face. When you turn back to look at the windows, you're struck by how much snow has accumulated. The porch railing is completely buried. The firewood stack is just a vague shape under a mound of white. The trees are barely visible, just dark verticals in a world of horizontal white. It's beautiful and a little bit wild, and you're so glad you're experiencing it from inside this warm cabin. You leave the puzzle for now and decide to investigate the bedroom area more thoroughly. The bed looks so inviting with that thick comforter and all those pillows. You walk over and actually get under the covers just to test them out. The sheets are cool and crisp, and the comforter is heavy in that perfect way that makes you feel secure. You lie there for a minute, looking up at the wooden ceiling beams, listening to the storm. From here, you can see both the fire in the main room and the snow falling outside the bedroom windows. It's the best of both worlds. You could definitely sleep here. In fact, you're already looking forward to it. To crawling into this bed later tonight, maybe, leaving the curtains open so you can watch the snow as you drift off. What a way to fall asleep. Warm and safe while nature does its thing just outside the glass. But you're not ready for bed yet. You get up and notice there's a wooden chest at the foot of the bed. You open it and find extra quilts, more blankets, and at the very bottom, a hot water bottle. The kind made of rubber that you fill with hot water to warm your bed. You haven't seen one of these in years. Your grandmother used to have one. The memory makes you smile. You take the hot water bottle back to the kitchen and fill it from the kettle, which still has hot water from earlier. The rubber is warm and pliant in your hands. You screw the cap on tight and slip it into a soft flannel cover that was inside the chest. Then you tuck it into the bed, right where your feet will be later. It'll keep that spot warm and toasty. Another little touch that makes this cabin perfect. Back in the main room, you're drawn to the bookshelf again. You run your fingers along the spines, reading titles. There's such a good mix here. Classic novels, contemporary fiction, nature writing, poetry, even some humor books. Someone put thought into this collection. These aren't random books. They're comfort books. the kind you want to read when you're cozy and safe and have nowhere to be. You pull out a nature essay collection by a writer you've heard of but never read. The essays are short, just a few pages each, which is perfect for tonight. You can read one and put the book down without feeling like you're interrupting a story. You settle back onto the couch with the book and your throw blanket and start reading. The first essay is about watching birds in winter. The writer describes the way chickadees flit from branch to branch, how they puff up their feathers against the cold. As you read, you look out at your own windows, half expecting to see birds, but it's too dark and stormy now. The birds are all tucked away somewhere safe, just like you are. Maybe tomorrow morning, if the storm clears, you'll see some. You read another essay, this one about ice forming on a lake. The writer talks about the sound it makes, the way it creaks and groans as it freezes. You've heard that sound before. It's eerie and beautiful at the same time, like the earth is speaking. You pause your reading and listen to the cabin, the fire crackling, the wind whistling, the occasional groan of the logs as they settle. Every place has its own language. This cabin is learning to speak to you. The book is making you think about nature in a new way, about how being in a place like this, surrounded by forest and storm, isn't separate from your normal life. It's just a different part of the same life. You spend so much time in buildings and cars and offices that you forget you're part of this bigger natural world. But here, right now, you can't forget. The storm won't let you, and that's a gift, really. You set the book down and just sit for a while thinking. The fire has burned down again to steady flames. The storm continues outside, and you're here in the middle of it all, warm and contemplative and more relaxed than you've been in months. Your shoulders are loose, your jaw is unclenched, your breathing is deep and slow. Your body has finally gotten the message that it's okay to rest. Really rest. The clock says it's 8:30 now. Still not late, but you're aware of a pleasant tiredness creeping in. Not sleepy exactly, just ready to wind down. You think about making another cup of hot chocolate, but decide against it. You don't need anything right now. You're just fine as you are. You add another log to the fire, watching to make sure it catches. The flames leap up eagerly, happy to have new fuel. The bark on the log is rough and textured, and you watch it blacken and peel away as the fire consumes it. There's something primal about fire, something that connects you to every human who's ever sat by a fire on a cold night. For thousands of years, people have done exactly what you're doing right now, seeking warmth, finding shelter, being grateful for both. You walk over to the windows and press your hand against the glass. It's cold, really cold. The contrast between the cold glass and the warm cabin is stark. You can see your breath fog the window slightly. Outside, the storm seems to have reached some kind of peak. The snow is coming down so hard and fast that it's almost white noise. Constant, unrelenting, beautiful. You wonder how deep it is now. A foot? More? You can't really tell in the dark, but you know it's deep enough that your car is probably buried. Deep enough that the trail you walked on to get here is long gone. You're truly snowed in now, truly isolated, and it feels wonderful, like the world has given you permission to do nothing but be here, in this moment, in this place. Back on the couch, you pick up the puzzle pieces again. You work on the sky section, connecting pieces of sunset pink and orange and purple. It's challenging because the colors are so similar, but that's part of the appeal. You have to look closely, pay attention to subtle variations. It's like a meditation. As you work, your mind drifts. You think about work, but without any stress attached to it. It feels distant, like something that exists in another world. You think about your friends, your family, your normal life. All of that is still there waiting for you. But right now, in this cabin, in this storm, none of it can touch you. You're in a bubble, a perfect, peaceful bubble. Another puzzle piece clicks into place, and another. Slowly, the sunset sky is taking shape. You can see where the mountain will go, where the forest will emerge. It's satisfying in a way that's hard to explain. This concrete progress, these small victories, piece by piece, something beautiful is being built. The wind outside suddenly gusts hard, and you hear something hit the cabin. Probably a branch or a pine cone driven by the wind. The cabin doesn't even shudder. It just sits here, solid and strong, taking whatever the storm throws at it. You feel a rush of affection for this place, this cabin that's keeping you safe, that's giving you shelter and warmth and peace. You work on the puzzle for another 15 minutes or so, making good progress on the sky. Then you stretch, feeling your muscles that have been curled up on the couch. You stand and walk around the cabin, looking at it with fresh eyes. The way the firelight dances on the log walls, the shadows in the corners, the cozy nest you've made on the couch with blankets and pillows. In the kitchen, you pour yourself a glass of water from the tap. The water is cold and clean and tastes faintly of minerals. Good water, mountain water. You drink it slowly, looking out the window above the sink. The porch light is still on, and you can see the snow absolutely pouring down through its glow. It's hypnotic. You could stand here and watch it for hours. But your couch nest is calling to you. You head back and curl up again, pulling the throw blanket up to your chin. The fire is warm on your face. The couch is soft beneath you. The storm rages outside. And you're perfectly, completely, blissfully comfortable. This is what you were missing. This is what you needed without even knowing you needed it. Time to just be. Space to just exist without doing anything or being anything or proving anything. You let your eyes close again, not to sleep, just to rest. Behind your eyelids, you can still see the orange glow of the fire. You can hear everything, the crackle and pop of burning wood, the howl of wind, the soft hiss of snow hitting windows, your own breathing, the beating of your heart. All of it together creates this symphony of peace, of presence, of now. When you open your eyes, the clock says it's 9:15. Time has done that thing where it both drags and flies. Each moment feels full and slow, but somehow an hour has passed without you noticing. That's what happens when you're not constantly checking the time, constantly worrying about the next thing. Time becomes less important. The moment becomes everything. You get up and walk to the bedroom area again. The hot water bottle has done its job. That spot in the bed is wonderfully warm. The whole room is warm, actually. The heat from the fire has spread throughout the entire cabin. You touch the comforter, smooth and inviting. Soon you'll crawl under there and let sleep come. But not quite yet. First, you want to check the fire one more time. Make sure it's set for the next while. You add a couple of medium-sized logs, arrange them so they'll burn slowly and steadily. The fire accepts them and settles into a comfortable burn. Not too hot, not too cool, just right. Like everything else about this place. The night is settling in deeper now. It's after 9, and you can feel the cabin settling with it. The fire burns steady and warm, casting dancing shadows on the walls. The storm outside shows no signs of stopping, which somehow makes you feel even more content in here. Like you're in on a secret. Like you've found the perfect hideaway, while the world outside goes wild. You decide it's a good time to explore the things you haven't looked at yet. There's that battery-powered radio you noticed earlier. You bring it over to the coffee table and turn it on. Static at first, then you find a station. It's playing jazz, soft, mellow jazz. A saxophone and a piano having a conversation. It's perfect for the mood of the evening. Not too loud, not too energetic. Just background music that fills the space nicely. You turn the volume down low, just enough that you can hear it under the sounds of the fire and storm. It adds another layer to the cabin's atmosphere. Now you've got the visual warmth of the fire, the cozy feel of the blankets, the sound of the storm, and this gentle music tying it all together. Every sense is satisfied. Every part of you is content. You pick up the nature essay book again and read a few more pages. This essay is about snow, about how each snowflake is unique, but also how they work together to create something bigger. Drifts and banks and blankets of snow that transform the landscape. You think about the snow outside your window, all those individual flakes falling, landing, building on each other, creating this winter wonderland that you're lucky enough to be sitting in the middle of. The writer talks about the silence that comes with snow, how it muffles sound, creates a hush over everything, and you realize that's part of what makes tonight so peaceful. Even though the wind is howling and the storm is loud, there's a quality to the sound that's different, softer somehow, like the snow is wrapping everything in cotton wool. You set the book aside and just listen, really listen. The jazz on the radio, the fire, the wind, and underneath it all, if you're very quiet and very still, you can hear the snow itself. A soft whisper as it falls and accumulates. It's such a gentle sound, like the world is being tucked in for the night. Standing at the window again, you cup your hands around your eyes and press close to the glass, trying to see more of the outside world. But it's nearly impossible. Just whiteness and darkness and the vague shapes of trees. The snow has to be well over a foot deep by now, maybe closer to 2 feet. The storm was supposed to be big, and it's definitely living up to that promise. You wonder about the other cabins on the property. Are there other people in them, also snowed in, also cozy by their fires? Or is yours the only one occupied tonight? Either way, you feel connected to anyone else who might be out here. Fellow travelers who chose warmth and shelter over the chaos of the storm. Who understood that sometimes the best thing you can do is find a safe place and wait it out. Back on the couch, you rearrange your nest. One pillow behind your back, another to your side. The throw blanket tucked around your legs. The coffee table within easy reach, the fire warm on your right side, the soft glow of the reading lamp above. This is your command center, your cozy headquarters, everything you need within arm's reach. The radio switches to a new song, still jazz but a little slower, a trumpet now, playing something bluesy and contemplative. It makes you think about all the times you've been too busy to just sit like this, too caught up in doing things to simply be. And you make a mental note to remember this feeling, this peace, to try to bring some of it back to your regular life when you leave here. But that's tomorrow's problem, or the next day's. Right now, you're here. The storm is here. The fire is here. And nothing else matters. You pick up a piece of chocolate from the welcome basket, the dark kind with sea salt. You let it melt slowly on your tongue, savoring it. Rich and smooth and just a little bit salty. Perfect. The cabin makes one of its sounds again. A long, slow creak from somewhere up in the rafters. It's the kind of sound that might seem eerie if you were nervous, but instead it's comforting. The cabin is alive. It's responding to the cold, the wind, the weight of snow on the roof. It's doing its job, and you're grateful for it. You think about what you might do tomorrow if the storm clears. Maybe walk through the snow, see the forest transformed, or maybe just stay inside again, reading and watching the world outside. Either sounds good. Both sound perfect. That's the beauty of having nowhere to be. Everything is an option. Nothing is required. The fire needs attention again, so you get up and tend to it. The logs have burned down to glowing coals in places. You add 2 more pieces of wood, watching them catch. The flames lick up the sides, find purchase, and spread. Within a minute, the fire is blazing again. You stand there for a moment, warming your hands, feeling the heat on your face. While you're up, you decide to try the other lamp in the room. There's one by the bookshelf that you haven't turned on yet. You switch it on, and it adds another pool of warm light. Now the cabin is even cozier, if that's possible. Multiple light sources, all soft and golden. It's like being inside a warm embrace. You walk to the kitchen and open the cabinets again, just browsing. There's tea in here, several varieties. Chamomile, peppermint, something called sleepy time that promises to help you relax. You choose the peppermint, not because you need help relaxing, you're already there, but because peppermint sounds refreshing, clean, perfect for this moment. You heat water in the kettle again and drop a tea bag into your mug. When the water boils, you pour it over the bag and watch the water turn pale green, then darker. The smell of peppermint fills the kitchen, fresh and invigorating, and somehow also calming. You carry the mug back to the couch, blowing on it gently to cool it down enough to sip. The first sip is hot and minty and perfect. You cradle the mug in both hands, letting the warmth seep into your palms. Outside, the storm continues its assault. Snow piles higher, wind pushes and pulls. But in here, time has slowed to nearly nothing. You're in a bubble outside of normal time. A pocket universe where only this moment exists. You pick up the puzzle again and work on the mountain section now. Dark purples and grays and browns. These pieces are easier because the colors are more distinct. Rock faces and crevices and shadows. You fit several pieces together, watching the mountain take shape. It's satisfying work. Mindless but engaging. Your hands busy while your mind drifts. The radio is playing something instrumental now. No trumpet or saxophone, just a piano. Gentle chords that rise and fall like breathing. It's so beautiful it almost hurts. You pause the puzzle to just listen, to let the music wash over you. It feels like the pianist is here with you, playing just for this moment, just for this cabin, just for you. When the song ends, You realize you have tears in your eyes. Not sad tears, not happy tears exactly, just tears. The kind that come when you're so relaxed and open that emotion can flow through you without resistance. You let them fall, not embarrassed, not needing to wipe them away, just letting yourself feel whatever this is. Gratitude, maybe, or peace, or just the simple beauty of being alive in this moment. The storm outside reaches some new level of intensity. You hear the wind absolutely roaring around the cabin. A branch must have broken somewhere because you hear a loud crack. Then the softer sound of something falling into snow. Nature's doing its thing out there, breaking and building and reshaping. And you're safe inside, witness to it all, but separate from it. Protected. You sip your tea and look around the cabin with fresh eyes. Really look at it. The grain of the wooden logs, the stones in the fireplace, all different sizes and colors, fitted together like their own puzzle. The curtains at the windows, simple and functional. The throw pillows on the couch, worn but clean. Everything in here has been chosen with care. Everything serves a purpose. Nothing is extra. It's perfect simplicity. There's a calendar on the wall that you haven't noticed before. It's still on December, not flipped to January yet. The picture shows this very area, but in summer. Green trees, blue sky, wild flowers. It's hard to imagine that view right now, with everything buried in snow and dark. But you like knowing that in a few months, this place will transform again. The snow will melt, life will return, and it'll be a completely different kind of beautiful. You flip the calendar to January and look at this month's picture. It shows the cabins in snow, smoke rising from chimneys, icicles hanging from roof edges. It looks exactly like what you're experiencing right now. Someone took this photo during a storm, just like this one, and they captured it perfectly. The magic and peace and beauty of winter in the mountains. Back on the couch with your tea, you pull the throw blanket tighter around yourself. Not because you're cold, the cabin is plenty warm, but because being wrapped up feels good. Cocooned, safe, like being held. You rest your head back against the couch cushion and close your eyes again, just feeling everything. The warmth of the tea mug in your hands, the softness of the blanket, the crackle of the fire, the howl of the wind, all of it together creating this perfect moment. The clock on the wall ticks quietly. You open your eyes and see it's almost 10. The night is still young, really. Plenty of time before sleep. But you're in that lovely space where you could sleep if you wanted to, but you don't have to. Where you're comfortable enough to drift, to float, to just be. You finish your tea and set the empty mug on the coffee table. The peppermint has left a clean, fresh feeling in your mouth. You think about brushing your teeth, getting ready for bed, but you're not quite ready yet. There's something about this time of night, this deep, quiet time, that you want to hold on to a little longer. The fire is burning low again, so you add more wood. This time you choose smaller pieces, knowing that you'll probably head to bed within the hour. The fire doesn't need to be blazing all night, just comfortable, just enough to keep the cabin warm. You arrange the logs carefully and watch them catch, satisfied with your fire-tending skills. You're getting good at this. You walk to the bedroom area and sit on the edge of the bed. The hot water bottle is still warm, though not as hot as before. You adjust it with your foot, moving it to where your calves will be. Perfect. You pull back the comforter and see the sheets beneath, crisp and white and inviting. Soon, very soon, you'll be under there, warm and comfortable, drifting off to sleep to the sound of the storm. But first, you walk to the bedroom window and look out. The view from here is different than from the main room. More trees, less open space. And in the darkness and storm, it's like looking into a void. Just blackness and the white streaks of falling snow caught occasionally in some reflected light. It's beautiful in an almost otherworldly way, like you're at the edge of space, looking out at stars and darkness and infinite possibility. You pull the curtain back fully and make a decision. You'll leave it open tonight. You want to be able to see the storm as you fall asleep, to watch the snow and the darkness and feel the contrast between out there and in here. It'll make sleep even sweeter, you think, knowing you're warm and safe while the wild world does its thing just beyond the glass. Back in the main room, you do a final check of everything. The fire's good. The doors are locked. The lights are all as you want them. The cabin is secure and warm and ready for the night. And so are you. Almost. You pour yourself a small glass of water from the kitchen and set it on the nightstand. Hydration for the middle of the night if you need it. You brush your teeth in the bathroom, looking at yourself in the mirror. You look relaxed, really relaxed. Your face is soft, not tense. Your eyes are calm. Your shoulders are down. This day, this evening, this storm, this cabin, all of it has worked some kind of magic on you. You look like someone who knows how to rest, and that makes you smile. In the bedroom, you change into the comfy clothes you packed. Soft pants and a warm shirt. Not pajamas exactly, but comfortable enough to sleep in. You slide under the covers and feel the coolness of the sheets against your skin. Then the warmth of the comforter settling over you. The bed is even more comfortable than you thought it would be. Firm enough to support, soft enough to cradle. You arrange the pillows behind you so you're slightly propped up. From this position, you can see the main room with its fire, and also the window with the storm. Perfect. You pull the comforter up to your chest and let your body sink into the mattress. Everything in you is saying yes. Yes to rest. Yes to this moment. Yes to peace. The fire in the main room is visible from here, a warm orange glow. The radio is still playing softly, some gentle guitar now. And outside, the storm continues. Snow falling, wind blowing, the wild winter night doing what it does. But you're here, safe, warm, content, more content than you've been in a very long time. You watch the snow at the window. The flakes are smaller now, but there are so many of them. An endless stream of white against the darkness. Hypnotic. Your eyelids are getting heavy, but you don't fight it. You just watch and breathe and feel the warmth of the bed and the safety of the cabin and the perfect peace of this moment. This beautiful, unexpected, perfect moment. You wake slowly, gradually becoming aware of warmth and softness and light. Not the harsh light of an alarm or morning rush, but gentle, diffuse light. Gray light. Snow light. You keep your eyes closed for a moment, just feeling the weight of the comforter, the softness of the pillow under your head, the warmth of the bed. You're so comfortable you could stay here forever. When you finally open your eyes, the first thing you see is the window and snow. So much snow. The storm has stopped, or at least paused. The wind is gone. The driving snow is gone. But the world outside is completely transformed. Everything is white. The trees are laden with it. The ground is buried under it. It's like someone came in the night and painted the entire world with a white brush. You sit up a little, propping yourself on your elbows to see better. The sun must be up, though you can't see it through the clouds. But there's enough light to see clearly. The forest looks like something from a fairy tale. Every branch is outlined in white. Every pine needle is coated. The porch, what you can see of it, is completely buried. Just a flat expanse of white, with 2 lumps that must be the chairs. It's absolutely silent. That's what strikes you most. The complete and total silence. No wind, no sound at all except your own breathing. It's like the world is holding its breath, like everything is waiting to see what happens next. You've never heard silence quite like this. It's not empty. It's full of possibility and peace and wonder. You stay in bed for a while longer, just watching the window. Occasionally, a clump of snow falls from a branch, making a soft poof sound when it hits the ground. Then silence again. You wonder what time it is, and you don't care at all. It's morning. That's enough. The specifics don't matter. Eventually, the need to move gets stronger than the desire to stay in bed. You slide out from under the covers, feeling the cooler air of the room on your skin. The fire has died down to just embers, which explains the slight chill. But it's not uncomfortable, just cool enough to make you want to get that fire going again. You pad barefoot to the fireplace and assess the situation. The coals are still warm, still red in places. Good. You can work with this. You add some kindling first, watching it catch from the heat of the coals. When the kindling is burning nicely, you add a couple of small logs. Within minutes, you've got a respectable fire going. The cabin will warm up quickly now. With the fire taken care of, you head to the bathroom. The window in here shows more snow, more transformed forest. You use the toilet, wash your hands and face with cold water that wakes you up fully. In the mirror, you look well rested. Your eyes are clear. Your face is relaxed. You look like someone who slept deeply and peacefully, because you did. Back in the main room, you walk to the big windows and just stand there, looking out. In the daylight, you can see just how much snow fell. 2 feet, easily, maybe more. Everything is buried. The trail you walked on yesterday is completely gone. Your car, which you can barely see through the trees, is just a white mound. You're not going anywhere today. And that realization brings a smile to your face. Another day here. Another day of peace and quiet and snow. Coffee. You need coffee. You head to the kitchen and fill the kettle with fresh water. Set it on the stove to heat. While you wait, you find the bag of coffee and the French press. The coffee smells amazing, rich and dark and promising. You spoon several scoops into the press, more than you'd usually use because today feels like a strong coffee kind of morning. The kettle starts to whistle, and you pour the hot water over the coffee grounds. The smell intensifies, filling the kitchen, spreading through the cabin. You set a timer on your phone, 4 minutes for the coffee to steep. While you wait, you look in the welcome basket again. There are some granola bars you didn't notice last night, perfect for breakfast. When the timer goes off, you press down the plunger on the French press slowly, watching the ground sink to the bottom. Then you pour the coffee into your mug. It's dark and strong and beautiful. You add a tiny bit of water to cool it down, just enough to sip. That first taste is everything, bitter and rich and warm, exactly what you needed. You carry your coffee to the couch and curl up in your spot from last night. The fire is blazing now, warming the room quickly. You wrap your hands around the mug and look out the windows while you drink. The snow is so bright it almost hurts your eyes. Everything is sharp and clear and crystalline. The storm left behind this incredible gift, this perfect winter landscape. A bird lands on a branch near the window, a chickadee, small and round and fluffy. It hops from spot to spot, looking for something to eat. You stay very still, not wanting to scare it. The bird doesn't seem bothered by the cabin or you inside it. It just goes about its business, pecking at the bark, looking under snow for seeds or insects. Then it flies off, and you're left with the silence again. You drink your coffee slowly, savoring every sip. There's no rush this morning, nowhere to be, nothing to do except whatever you want. And right now, what you want is exactly this: coffee, fire, snow, peace. It's enough, more than enough. It's everything. When your mug is empty, you get up and pour yourself a second cup. This time you add a little sugar, just to change it up. The sweetness is nice, different from the pure bitter of the first cup, but equally satisfying. You grab one of the granola bars and bring everything back to the couch. The granola bar is crunchy and sweet with bits of dried fruit. You eat it slowly, alternating bites with sips of coffee. Simple breakfast. Perfect breakfast. Through the window, you see more birds now. Several chickadees and what might be a nuthatch. They're all fluffed up against the cold, looking like little feathered balls. They move through the trees like tiny miracles, completely at home in this winter world. You realize you should probably check in with someone, let people know you're okay. You find your phone and turn it on. It takes a minute to boot up. No service, which doesn't surprise you, but you remember the landline. You walk over to it and see the number for the office written on a card right next to it. You dial and the woman from yesterday answers on the second ring. "Good morning," she says, and you can hear the smile in her voice. "How was your night?" "Perfect," you tell her. And it was. Absolutely perfect. You tell her you're planning to stay another night, if that's okay. She says the cabin is yours as long as you want it. The roads won't be clear until tomorrow anyway. The plows are working on the main highway first. Then they'll get to the smaller roads. You could probably walk out if you really needed to. But why would you? Everything you need is right here. She asks if you need anything, and you say no. You've got food, water, firewood, everything. She tells you to enjoy the day, to enjoy the snow. It's beautiful after a storm like that, she says. Peaceful. You thank her and hang up, feeling even more content than before. Another day. Another whole day of this. You add another log to the fire and then decide to get dressed properly. In the bedroom, you put on layers, warm socks, jeans, a thermal shirt and a fleece over it. You're thinking about going outside just for a little while, just to experience the snow up close, to see what 2 feet of fresh powder feels like. In the closet, you find a pair of boots that look about your size. They're lined with fleece and have good treads. There's also a heavy coat, a beanie, and gloves. Someone thought of everything. You gear up, feeling like you're preparing for an expedition, which in a way you are. An expedition into winter, into wonder. Before you go out, You make sure the fire is safe. You adjust the logs, make sure nothing is too close to the edge. Then you open the cabin door. The blast of cold air is shocking and exhilarating. It takes your breath away, but in a good way, in a wake you up, make you feel alive kind of way. The porch is buried under snow. You step out and your foot sinks down, 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 at least 2 feet, maybe more. The snow is light and fluffy, not packed at all. You take another step and another, making your way to the edge of the porch. Each step is work, pushing through all that powder. But it's fun, like being a kid again. You stand at the edge of the porch and just look. The forest is absolutely transformed. Every tree is a sculpture. Every branch is art. The sun, still hidden behind clouds, makes everything glow with diffused light. There are no shadows, just various shades of white and gray in the dark lines of tree trunks. It's beautiful, heartbreakingly beautiful. You can hear your breath, see it fog in the cold air. You can hear the creak of snow settling, branches adjusting to their burden. And beneath it all, that deep silence, that winter silence that feels like the world is sleeping, resting, gathering strength for spring. You decide to walk around the cabin, or try to. You step off the porch and immediately sink to your knees in snow. It's deeper than you thought, way deeper. But you push forward, high stepping through the powder, feeling it give way beneath you. It's hard work, but it's joyful work, playful. You're grinning like an idiot, and you don't care. Around the side of the cabin, you find the woodshed the woman mentioned. It's partially buried, but you can still access it. Inside, there are stacks and stacks of split wood. More than enough for days, weeks probably. You grab a few pieces and carry them back to the porch, adding them to the stack there. Might as well stock up while you're out here. The cold is starting to seep through your clothes now, finding gaps at your wrists and neck. You make your way back to the cabin door, stomping snow off your boots before going inside. The warmth hits you like a wave. The contrast is incredible. Out there, cold and wild and bright. In here, warm and safe and cozy. Both are beautiful. Both are necessary. You take off your outer layers, hanging them to dry by the fire. Your cheeks are red and your nose is running, but you feel amazing. Alive, present, like every cell in your body is awake and paying attention. You make more coffee because why not? And settle back onto the couch with the throw blanket. From the warmth of the cabin, you watch the world outside. The snow is starting to glitter now as the sun finds occasional breaks in the clouds. Little sparkles appear on the surface, like someone sprinkled diamonds across everything. It's magical. There's no other word for it. Pure magic. You pick up the puzzle from last night and work on it some more. The mountain is almost complete now, just a few pieces missing from the peak. You find them and click them into place, satisfied with the progress. The sunset sky is done too. Now you're working on the forest at the base of the mountain. Dark greens and browns, shadows and light. Time passes. You don't know how much and you don't care. You work on the puzzle. You watch the snow. You tend the fire. You eat another granola bar. You drink more coffee. You exist. Simply exist. And it's enough. More than enough. It's everything you needed without knowing you needed it. Around what you guess is midday, you get hungry for real food. You check the cabinets again and find a can of soup. Vegetable soup. That sounds perfect. You heat it on the stove, stirring occasionally, watching it bubble. The smell is comforting, homey. You pour it into a bowl and eat it slowly, savoring every spoonful. After lunch, you feel sleepy. Not tired exactly, just peaceful and full and ready to rest. You lie down on the couch, pulling the throw blanket over yourself. Through half-closed eyes, you watch the fire, watch the snow, watch the light change as the afternoon progresses, and you drift, not quite asleep, not quite awake, just floating in that perfect space between. When you fully wake up, the light has changed. It's later afternoon now. The clouds are breaking up, showing patches of blue sky. The sun, low on the horizon, is sending shafts of light through the trees. It catches the snow and makes it glow gold and pink and orange. It's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. You sit up, fully awake now, not wanting to miss a second of this. The sunset through the snow is incredible. The light keeps changing, keeps shifting. First gold, then pink, then that deep purple blue that comes right before dark. The shadows get longer. The air gets that special quality that only exists at dusk in winter. Clear and cold and somehow holy, like the day is saying goodbye, and you're here to witness it. You watch until the last light fades. Watch until the snow goes from gold to gray to deep blue. Watch until the first stars appear in the darkening sky. And then you sit there in the growing darkness, just you and the fire, and the quiet cabin in the snow outside. Perfect. This day was perfect. This place is perfect. This moment is perfect. Evening settles over the cabin like a soft blanket. The stars are out now, visible through the windows. You've never seen so many stars. Away from city lights, away from everything. They're brilliant, thousands of them, maybe millions. They stretch across the sky in great swirling patterns, and you could watch them forever. You light some of the candles you found in the bathroom, placing them around the cabin, on the coffee table, on the kitchen counter, on the mantle. Their soft, flickering light adds another layer of coziness to the space. Now you've got firelight and candlelight and starlight all working together to create this perfect glow. The radio is playing again, classical music now, something soft and flowing, strings and piano. It feels like the music was written specifically for this moment, for this cabin, for this snow-covered night. You turn it up just a little so you can hear it throughout the space, and it fills the silence in the best way. You're thinking about dinner, but you're not particularly hungry yet. The soup from lunch is still sitting comfortably in your stomach. So instead, you make yourself a cup of tea. The chamomile this time, something soothing and warm. You steep it carefully, add a little honey, and carry it to the window. The view outside is like something from a dream. The snow glows faintly blue in the starlight. The trees are dark silhouettes against the lighter sky. And above it all, those stars, those incredible, brilliant stars. You stand there sipping your tea, feeling very small and very connected at the same time. Small because the universe is so vast. Connected because you're part of it, part of this incredible web of existence. You think about your life back home, your job, your apartment, your routines. They all seem so far away now. Not in a bad way. Not like you want to abandon them. Just far. Like they exist in a different dimension. Here, in this cabin, in this snow, in this moment, none of that matters. Here, you're just a person. just a human being, breathing and existing and being alive. And that's enough. The fire needs wood again, so you add some. The routine is comforting now. You know which logs to choose, how to arrange them, how to make sure they'll burn steadily. You're getting good at this, getting good at cabin life, at being here, at being present. You settle back on the couch with your tea and the throw blanket. The puzzle is nearly finished now. Just a few pieces left, scattered across the coffee table. You decide to save them for tomorrow. Let the puzzle stay incomplete for one more night. There's something nice about having something unfinished, something to look forward to, something to do tomorrow morning with coffee and daylight. Instead, you pick up the book of nature essays again. You're near the end now, just a few more essays left. This one is about winter nights, about how the longest nights of the year are also the most beautiful, how darkness isn't something to fear, but something to embrace, a time for rest, for reflection, for dreaming. The writer talks about how our ancestors would have spent winter nights, gathered around fires, telling stories, working on crafts, being together, no screens, no electricity, just each other, and the fire, and the long, dark nights. And you realize that's what you're doing right now, living like humans have lived for thousands of years, finding warmth, finding shelter, finding peace in the quiet darkness. You set the book down and just sit with that thought for a while. How simple this is, how fundamental. You've got heat from fire. You've got shelter from the storm. You've got food and water. Everything else is extra. Everything else is luxury. But these basics, these essentials, they're enough. They've always been enough. The tea is almost gone, just a few warm sips left in the bottom of the mug. You finish it slowly, letting the chamomile do its work. You can feel yourself getting sleepier. That good sleepy feeling that comes from a full day and a peaceful evening. Not the exhausted collapse kind of tired, but the gentle, natural tiredness that means your body is ready for rest. You blow out most of the candles, leaving just one burning on the coffee table. Its flame dances and flickers, casting moving shadows on the walls. It's hypnotic. You could watch it forever. But your eyes are getting heavy. Your body is calling you to bed. And this time, you're ready to listen. In the bedroom, you change into your sleeping clothes. The bed looks even more inviting than it did last night, if that's possible. You slide under the covers and feel that same wonderful sensation. Cool sheets, warm comforter, perfect pillows. You arrange them the way you like and settle in, looking out the window at the stars. From here, you can see the fire in the main room. You can see the single candle flame still burning. And through the window, you can see the snow and the stars and the dark shapes of trees. It's like having 3 different worlds visible at once. The warm world of the cabin, the cold world of winter outside, and the vast world of space above. All of them beautiful. All of them exactly as they should be. You think about tomorrow. You'll probably leave. The roads should be clear. You'll have to pack up, say goodbye to this place, go back to your regular life. But that's okay, because you'll take this with you. This peace, this contentment, this knowledge that you can find stillness when you need it. That beauty exists everywhere if you just slow down enough to see it. Or maybe you won't leave tomorrow. Maybe you'll call the office in the morning and ask to stay one more night. The cabin is available. You have nowhere you need to be. And this place, this perfect place, isn't ready to let you go yet. Or maybe you're not ready to let it go. Either way, tomorrow can figure itself out. Right now, you're here, in this bed, in this cabin, in this perfect moment. Through the window, you see a shooting star, a bright streak across the sky, there and gone in a second. It makes you smile, like the universe is saying goodnight, like everything is aligned and perfect, and exactly as it should be. You make a wish, even though you don't really believe in that. You wish for more moments like this, more peace, more presence, more beauty. The fire in the main room has burned down to glowing coals. The candle has gone out. The cabin is lit only by starlight now, filtering in through the windows. And that's enough, more than enough. The darkness is soft, gentle, not scary at all, just peaceful, just right. You pull the comforter up to your chin and feel the weight of it, the warmth of it. You can hear the cabin making its nighttime sounds, small creaks and groans as the wood settles, the distant sound of wind picking up again, though not like last night. Just a gentle breeze moving through the trees, and underneath it all, that deep silence, that winter silence that feels like peace made audible. Your breathing slows, deepens. You can feel yourself starting to drift, not fighting it, just letting it happen, letting sleep come naturally. Your body knows what to do. Your body knows it's safe here, that it can let go, that it can rest deeply and completely. You think about the storm from last night, how wild it was, how beautiful, and how it brought you here, to this cabin, to this moment. Sometimes the universe knows what you need before you do. Sometimes the storms bring you exactly where you need to be. Sometimes getting lost is really getting found. The stars are still there when you check again, constant, unchanging. They've been there for billions of years, and they'll be there for billions more. And right now, they're shining down on this cabin, on this snow, on you. And that feels important somehow, like you're connected to something vast and ancient and eternal. You close your eyes and you can still see the stars behind your eyelids, little points of light dancing in the darkness. Your breathing gets even slower, even deeper. You're floating now, drifting, somewhere between awake and asleep, in that perfect space where peace lives. The cabin surrounds you, holds you, keeps you safe and warm and protected. The snow outside creates a barrier between you and the world, a buffer, a cocoon. And inside that cocoon, you're perfectly safe, perfectly content, perfectly at peace. Tomorrow might bring sunshine. The roads might clear. You might pack your things and drive away. But tonight, you're here, right here, in this bed, in this cabin, in this moment. And this moment is perfect. This moment is exactly where you're supposed to be. This moment is everything. You think about all the people out there who might need a moment like this, who might need a cozy cabin and a snowstorm and a fire, who might need permission to just stop, to just be, to just rest. And you hope they find it. You hope everyone finds their version of this, their place of peace. The wind outside is singing now, a soft song, a lullaby. It moves through the trees and around the corners of the cabin and creates this gentle music. And you're listening to it, really listening, not analyzing or judging, just experiencing, just being present with the sound. Your body is completely relaxed now, every muscle loose, every joint easy. Your jaw is unclenched. Your shoulders are dropped. Your hands are open and soft. You're not holding on to anything, not bracing against anything, just being, just existing in this moment of perfect peace. Sleep is coming closer now. You can feel it approaching like a friend. Gentle. Welcome. Not something to resist, but something to embrace. Your mind is getting quieter. Thoughts are slowing down, spacing out, becoming less important, less urgent, less real. You drift deeper. The stars are fading. The cabin is fading. Everything is fading except this feeling, this peace, this contentment, this deep, deep relaxation. You're safe. You're warm. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And that's all that matters. The snow falls softly outside. Just a few flakes now, gentle, peaceful, adding to the blanket that covers everything, making the world softer, quieter, more beautiful. And you're here to witness it, here to be part of it, here to rest in the middle of it all. Your breathing is so slow now, so deep, in and out, steady, reliable, like waves on a shore, like the rhythm of the earth itself. And you're riding that rhythm, following it down into sleep, into dreams, into rest. The cabin holds you. The bed cradles you. The darkness embraces you. The silence wraps around you like a blanket. And you're letting go of everything. Just floating now. Just drifting. Just being. Everything you needed today you found. Everything you were looking for, you discovered. Everything you were missing, you received. The cabin gave it to you. The snow gave it to you. The storm gave it to you. And now sleep is giving you rest. Deep, peaceful, beautiful rest. You're nearly there now. Nearly asleep. Just a few more breaths, a few more moments. And then you'll be dreaming. Dreaming of snow and stars and peace. Dreaming of warmth and safety and home. Dreaming of this perfect place. This perfect moment. This perfect night. The stars keep shining. The snow keeps falling. The cabin keeps standing. And you keep breathing, slow and deep and peaceful. In and out, steady and calm, safe and warm. Here, now, present, perfect. And then gently, softly, like snow falling on snow, you drift into sleep. Deep sleep, peaceful sleep. The kind of sleep that heals and restores and renews. You're safe here. You're home here. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. In this cabin. In this moment. In this perfect, peaceful, beautiful night. Good night, snowy forest. Good night, warm cabin. Good night, bright stars. Good night, dear traveler. Rest well. Sleep deep. Dream sweet. You've found your peace. You've found your place. You found your home in the heart of winter. And it's perfect. Just perfect.